Yep.
Doing good.
She's doing really good.
Want to tell everybody what happened? So we got the bull put in with all the other cows. Good girl. And all of a sudden we realized as soon as we put him in the paddock that Tilly, our dairy cow, who we realize now is not bred and is in heat, she would have been in heat today, somehow got out of our lower paddock, which is a quarter mile away, ran down the driveway, and this one followed her. And we are on the inside of our field. We don't have a gate on this side of the fence, and we see them running down our driveway towards the highway because we're on a main road. And we're like, oh my gosh, the dairy cow is running towards the road with her calf, and we have no way to stop her. Oh my gosh. So that's why the video turned off. So we were able to get Tilly, her mom. Thank God she was at least hot wire broke, because she's not halter broke like Molly, where we've been working on. So we were able to get the poly wire that we were holding, that we had led the bull down the paddock, and we put it behind her, wrapped it around her bum, and got her at least back into our driveway because she was out in front of the highway. Got her in the driveway, and then had to try to walk her back down a quarter mile driveway
Back to the
with
barn.
a bull behind her, calling to her while she was in heat. So this is no easy task. And then I got not a halter, but like a lead rope around her neck, which tightens and loosens, and she hates it because she's not halter trained. And so every time she's like trying to get the lead rope off, she's all pissed off. She's getting it caught between her feet and wrapping it around her feet. We thought she was gonna like break a toe, and I'm trying to get it unwrapped from her while we're unwrapped from inside her hooves while we're trying to lead her back to the barn. So while we know this one is tied to a fence post on the highway, so we had to get her back in the barn and locked in the barn. The kids are out running up to the gates and shutting all the other gates, so she has no other way to get back in the field, and we're getting her into the barn. So she gets close to the barn and she like looks back at the field, and we knew she's done this before where she's taken off to go back to where they all were, and we really wanted her bred to another really good dairy cow, so that we can get a registered Jersey out of her. So we're trying to get her in. Thankfully she's bucket trained, so she'll follow the sound of the grain to get into the barn. And thankfully I didn't milk her this morning, so she was probably hungrier than typical. Followed the grain, and we were able to lock her in the barn and go back out and get Molly. And I realized how thankful I am that we've been working on halter training her, because as you can see, this is a lot less stressful than that just was. So now we have no idea.
But she's not in heat.
And she's not in heat. She's only 4 months old. But so now we have no idea if that bull just bred those cows while we were trying to do all of this. So we have no idea what happened when they were introduced and how they all got to each other. And there's 3 more bulls across the road that are all staring at the girls, wanting to, like, thank goodness they have excellent fences over there, because that could be a disaster otherwise. And so anyhow, we're gonna put Molly back in with her mom and try to figure out what fence they went through, because when we went down there the gate was still shut and locked. So we don't know if she went through an area of poly wire and went up to a higher part of that pasture and
We'll
went
ask
through
the
an
kids.
open gate, which she may have done, or there's a part where the fence is bent.
Yeah, but this one wouldn't have got over.
I don't know. We've seen what Buddy can hop over.
That's true.
So I don't know if they hopped the fence when they knew that he was here. So that becomes problematic because if she's not bred and there's a bull here, she's going to do it again. And it's like we're right on the highway. So now we're going to call our wonderful AI tech. It's very common for AI not to work the first time. Like sometimes that happens. Actually, a lot of times that happens. So we're going to call her, see if there's any way for her to come and try to breed her again, because we did buy 2 straws of the semen that we bred her the first time, and see if she can be bred. And if not, we may actually consider letting our South Pole bull, who's going to be here for 2 months, breed her and get a mixed breed of a Jersey and South Pole, which could be what's considered a dual purpose cow. So her offspring, if she were to have a heifer, would be still a good dairy cow and still a good meat cow as well. So we'll see, we'll discuss that, but now we're just going to get her in the barn. You can see that she has grown a lot at 4 months old, and she's being a really good girl. Molly, are you such a good girl? You stepping on my foot? That I don't like. So anyhow, thankfully, this is why it's so important to handle your cows and if possible, get them halter trained. This is why we're trying to halter train Buddy, who is a steer now, but would have been a bull, so that if they get out, it's just one easier way to get a hold of them, because even with the best laid plans, like that happens sometimes. So it's funny because when they were running into the road, the cars just kind of slowed down, and they were like, they just waved as they went by. Like they must just be used to things like this happening, because they were just like, hey neighbor, and kept driving. So, all right, Miss Molly, you ready? Go see Mama? All right. So that's the adventures of today.
Always fun on the farm.
Always fun on the farm, right?
Wonder if the kids saw it, how they got out.
Yeah, we'll ask them. Maybe they were looking out the window and she walked by, because the kids called us while we were leading the bull down, and we thought they were like, you know, can I have chocolate chips or a snack or something, because a lot of times they'll call us for stuff like that. And so I called back to say, please close the gate, and they were like, Tilly's out. So they must have seen her, so we'll ask them where she was. Girl Molly. Such a good girl. Those are the neighbors.
I'll give her a tap.
So you definitely took a walk today.
Yeah, walking her up and down.
Yeah, I'll close the gate at the end and get her used to being walked up and down here.
Hmm.
But she can be shown in the spring.
Yeah, get her used to it.
So I had to hop that fence, and I am not like a young fence hopper. Sean hopped right over it like it was nothing, and I looked at the fence like, oh my gosh. I got over it, but I'm kind of glad it wasn't on video. I'm sure it was amusing. I wonder if my neighbors have cameras and they were able to see all of that. And they laugh.
I think it. Just went dark, Mariana. Huh?
Oh, that's it. All right, like, subscribe, and share. Say bye, Molly. Right on cue.